Well, good afternoon. Today we're going to look at supply and demand together. Now, you might recall that we have a supply curve that slopes up and a demand curve that slopes down. Right? Now, what happens when we put those two together? We get a point where they intersect, and that point is called equilibrium. That's very, very important. Equilibrium is the price and the quantity where the supply and the demand curves intersect. Now, let's make sure as we go through this that you also know how to read the chart well. All right, so I'm going to come up with a product. Let's just say Chipotle. All right, now it might be a little bit more than 10 bucks, but Chipotle is close enough. All right, so you go to Chipotle and you get a burrito and a soft drink. It's going to run you about 10 bucks. All right, that's about, if you think about it, that's about the equilibrium price for going out and getting some fast food nowadays, right? I know it's a little bit lower at McDonald's. If you get a meal, it's around 8 bucks, with burger, fries, and soft drink, right? But 10 bucks is about right. Okay, maybe a little higher than it should be, but whatever. So you go to Chipotle, eat your burrito and a drink. It's 10 bucks. Okay, what if Chipotle bumped up their price to 15? What would happen? At $15, here's what would happen. Now you'll notice at $10, 100 people, and let's say this is per day. At $10, 100 people went to Chipotle to get their burrito and Coke. But at $15, let's take that 15 and trace it over to that first curve. It's the purple one, which is the demand curve. At $15, I hit the curve at this point, the demand curve. I come on down and 50 people want it. So what is this saying? It's saying that at $10, only 100 people will go and buy their burrito and Coke there. But at $15, only 50 will. Why? The law of demand says at a higher price, fewer people want it. Remember that? But now notice at $10, the supply was also 100. But at $15, let's take that over to the supply curve, and we hit the supply curve there. There it is. Okay, 150 people want it. Now, so at $15, the supply is 150. The demand is 50. Sounds like we have too many out there. Well, what happens when there are too many out there? Well, think about it this way. If there are too many goods or services out there, you just might see prices drop. Notice these arrows are pointing down? Well, why would prices drop? Well, let's just say that you grow corn, all right? And you have one of those stands set up here on, out by St. Ambrose Church or down in Cottage Grove down there, the Tank Farms where so many of us down in Cottage Grove buy our corn, all right? So you have all this corn and you're selling it for $1 an ear, okay? Oh, by the way, that's a nice pirate joke. Did you hear about the pirate that got his ears pierced? Yeah, it cost him $1 an ear. Anyways, all right, so you're selling corn for $1 an ear. And you're getting towards the end of the season and you're noticing that you're not selling all your corn. Well, if you have too much corn sitting there and you want to sell it, what do you have to do? You have to drop the price, okay? So you can see here these arrows are pointing down because there's pressure to drop the price, all right? Not only is there pressure from the supply side, but from the demand side. Anyways, so at $15 an hour, all right, in this case here it was Chipotle, or my second example, corn. The supply is 150, the demand is 50. That means you have an extra 100 units sitting out there. You don't want the 100 units to spoil, okay? And if it's, say, something like pants that doesn't spoil because they don't go bad, well, you still want to sell them because what if that clothing style goes out of style soon? If it's a jacket, you want to get rid of it because do you really want to hang on to all those jackets for another year and wait to try to sell them next winter? Okay, you just want to get rid of that stuff. So what do? You drop the price. Okay, when the price is higher than the equilibrium, you have a surplus. In this case, a surplus of 100 because the supply was 150, the demand was 50. Okay, and because there's a surplus, there's pressure for prices to come down. All right. Now, look at the flip side. At $5, this is Chipotle. Well, 100 people used to go to Chipotle at $10, but now the price is 150, or is the price is $5? Well, at $5, let's see what the demand is. The demand is 150. Of course it is. Because if Chipotle dropped their price to $5, we would all go there more often, right? So the demand is going to go up. But because the price is lower, they're not going to make as much profit. So at $10, they used to supply 100. At $5, they only supply 50. Why? Because they're not making the same profit, so they supply less. Okay? So in this case here, at $5, we're below equilibrium. We have what we call a shortage. Supply is 50. How do I get to the 50? Take the $5 to the green supply curve. Supply is 50. Over here to the demand curve, demand is 150. Demand is 150, supply is 50. That means more people want to buy it than they have out there. We have a shortage. And whenever we have a shortage, look at the arrows, they're pointing up. There's pressure for prices to go up. What's going to happen here then is this. Let's just say there's a shortage in houses. Okay, a shortage in houses. So you want to sell your house. Okay, so in this case, since the ratio is 3 to 1, the demand was 150, the supply was 50, so we can reduce that to 3 to 1. The demand is 3, the supply is 1, okay? If you're selling your house, you're the supplier. So the supply of homes is 1, but 3 people want to buy it, right? If 3 people want to buy your one home, what's going to happen to the price? Right? It's going to go up, right? Try that sometime, okay? Put something for sale that you know a lot of people want, and you'll get more than you ask, all right? Most of the time, right? So what's going to happen is, if the price is too low, we end up with a shortage, and that starts to put pressure on prices to come back up, okay? So in short, what's happening here is we have, now this is, I'm going to try to put it all together here for you now. At $10, we have an equilibrium of 100 quantity. So we're at equilibrium price of 10, equilibrium quantity of 100. If the price is too high, the supply goes up, the demand goes down, quantity demanded, quantity supplied, right? And we have a surplus. And when there's a surplus, firms have to start dumping their goods at a lower price, so the prices come back down. If we're at $5, there's a shortage. Okay, and whenever there's a shortage, prices tend to get pushed back up. Okay, and at the end of the day, we end up at this little thing called equilibrium. Now, that's a mouthful, gang, everything I just went over. So hopefully that helps, and I know there were some examples in the lesson. If you have any questions on that, shoot me an email, and we could even set up a WebEx meeting, and we can talk about it some more. Okay, so good luck on that, and have a great, great day.